Malo sa fumunuia, ma pei po malo ia le tautua tua vai, ma tautua fu malo le tunu te vai, ta uso te fo i la sunga le ao, ia ai mai se fo i tatu o whengarunga ina i au kilani au te roa, i le nei fo i a tae au, ia msalo fo o le au li nei se vaenga fo i le United States of America, e wilea, e whātaro whātu malo le tunu. Mo pe ona ave be inga mal fa ne tanga no tanto tua, ia o tanto o me fo le nei aso. Fa tulo tu sengo fa o fa fengai nga taulangi fa taulanga se le tunu a me se ita po inga malu te mam tina ma tu tua wan se ai mo Samoa tau tu le ne tanto le tu sa tu ma yuna che America wan so si le fia me lo tu po a fia Samoa lo tau ua tau le Samoa ne tunu mo fo sa no taua ele nei tai au se tasi o alo Samoa tatu malo fa lo ngia la fa tanuina le nei tai au mai le stete o Hawaii, il sunga down faumina, o se leo leo le stete o Hawaii. Vea nei ma presidente o societe le uni, por societe leo leo le stete o Hawaii, e o le State of Hawaii Organization of Police Officers. O le uni au fia uma motu o Hawaii ei o ahu Maui Kauai, Molokai ma le motu tele o Hawaii. Tau sanga nei, e ato iei le luas fuluono tau sanga o lana tau tua ngai luenga fa leo leo po le malo mai o le nei foi society e lalo le latu puleanga i le luafe fitselau leo stete Hawaii. Mana amata le masaninga alu nei foi tangata ma le sunga ya Don Fomina i le taronga leo le pickleball ai li pale mai le presidente. O te li no ina o se leo ia po le sunga foi mamalo le malo ia le sunga ya Don ai sa anu wale mata longa te uho fo imita upu ia no fa pele se ta sile vanga ta wol tanto tunu o ila to le tonu o le nga luanga le ta o le masino te semana na te nei ia man malo ai ia tanto mina ile presidente ile palota tu la i mai nei le presidente le uni pito ta o ma le malo si tonu o le stete o Hawaii o tonu stete Hawaii o lo iai nisi meo tāua o nisi o vaenga pita tāua some of the first i te tonu o United States of America o i nei na whana o ele presidente mua ele o se pālangi i te tonu o se tine hoa o nei fo i sa iai o le sui o tonu o se nati a United States ele o se pālangi pi o vaenga i mua some of the first ia al tāua nei whakatei lava i lau sunga tāna mina o te iro le telo lo pisi la ngā luenga tāua. A o whaavanoa lava le nei taimi tāua. Ono o tātou reitio Samoa nei tāua. Tāra whalava tāna.
Lava, Ken. Lava.
Halo. Ia, la le tele se whamtalanga alu. Ni tangata ala tuatu e te whaisau saunoanga whaatalofa le malu le atunu. O whaafonga mai foi. A o Samoa ato le lalolangi ato le olo whaafonga mai nei taimi.
Yeah, Dan, I'd like to thank everyone for Dan for allowing me to be on this interview. Say to low level, if it's okay, I'm speak in English.
No problem.
My Samoan is not the best, and but I do my best to represent my people in the current position that I am in as a president for our police union statewide.
Mm-hmm. What made you decide to become a policeman?
I applied to be. I was working at a law firm prior to becoming a police officer. But even prior to that, my story goes a little bit back where I've fallen on hard times to a point where I was homeless for about 8 months. The beauty of when you hit rock bottom, the only way you can look is up. And there were people in my life back then that helped me to be where I am today. Of course, sometimes you go through a path and you forget that God is always there with you. And it was in a time of my life where I needed him the most, where a few of my friends that showed up and allowed me to work for a law firm for about 6 years, which in turn helped me to get into the department. And it wasn't something I wanted to do. It was something random. I wanted to start a family soon once I started to get on my feet. And I said, hey, let's try this police thing, see if it works. and I applied, and I kept getting through, and before you know it, I was in the academy. Yeah,
Yeah.
2000 is when I started, when I got into recruit school.
Wow.
Yeah,
And it's a great story. You mentioned, at the verge of being homeless. A lot of people who are very successful in this country, that's where they started out. And you're a great example of that. And so you got from there. How did you get into, administration? Being interested in, in this level of management and in administration. When did you
yeah,
start?
yeah. So at about 2013, being in the department for about 13 years, one of my mentors, let's come let's come Samoa. His name is Teneri Maafala, and
Uh-huh.
he was the current union president at the time. And he approached me and said, "Hey, what is your thoughts about being in the union?" And I had no idea what being a union official looked like. But to be a union official on the state level, you needed to be voted in, and you get voted in statewide by all the four counties. And so I decided to give it a run to sit on the state board as a director at large. I put my name in, put my bio in, started talking to a bunch of people, and I was elected to be on the state board in 2013, and I ran 2 terms. So each term is 4 years. So I was there
Wow.
all the way from 13 all the way to 2020, right before the pandemic. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was
You
it
know,
was mentors such as Teneri Maafala as well as Malcolm Lutu, two of my Samoan brothers that were in the department. Asked me and mentored me to see where my thoughts were to be part of the union, and that's where my journey started to be in that admin spot.
you mentioned something that is very important. When a young person sees that, there's a Samoan up there in any field, including sports, then you kind of you think, oh, I can do that too. I mean, and what you're doing right now, it's a great role modeling for other young people. Well, what's your advice becoming a police?
Yeah, you absolutely right, Ken. You grow up. I grew up in a public housing here in Hawaii. When I was little, I was in Palolo housing, and then middle school, I was over at KPT, and then finally Camp Four. I'm a graduate of Farrington High School here in Kalihi, and sorry, lost you. So I'm a graduate of Farrington High School here in Kalihi, and many times law enforcement, we would see our police officers, uh, you know, a lot of them are Asians or they're Palangi, and I would see seldom, very few Polynesian police officers. And when I joined the department, there's these two people that came up to me and say, "Hey, you have a responsibility to for our people to be that example." And so I look at our young people, our Polynesians, our Samoans, Tongans, anybody out there in Polynesia. Look, the world is out there for you. You just got to
Hmm.
know how to find it. You find good mentors. You find people that are in a circle where they've already been there. That all they want to do is serve, right? Putting God first, and then serve the community and do the best for our family. And that's really all I want to do, Ken. Is number
Hmm.
one, to make my family proud, but more importantly, to serve the community in the best way they deserve. That when they see a Polynesian police officer, they can say, "Yeah, I can see myself being just like that." There are young people out there that has, I feel like been misguided by social media, but I think
Hmm.
we need to get back to the village mentality to bring our people together and teach them the way that they should, to be respectful to everyone, but more importantly, to have that responsibility to serve others and be the best that we can.
One of the lawyers, and I think I came in about in the 70s and 80s, and we had a lot of problem between Samoans and policemen, and including what they call police brutality. And one of the advice that one of the lawyers was saying, you got to get your Samoans in the police force, and the reason he was saying was that because that's when they are going to be treated fairly and equitably, to have your own people there, not only as a policeman, but as lawyers and judges. And what you're doing, it's very important. What do you say to that?
Yes, I agree. people will look at you in a different light when you hold a specific position. You know, taking over as the new president of this union, there's been doors that have been opened for me and for our officers that normally wouldn't, if me just being a regular police officer. So now I have numbers of all the mayors in the counties. I have the number of the governor, where I would just, and all the chief of police, a lot of the politicians, where they would call and we would talk a lot, and we have really good lengthy discussions. I appreciate their discussions because they're asking me like, okay, so as a Samoan or as a Polynesian, what is your thoughts about and whatever they're asking? And I feel so blessed that
Mm.
we get to be part of that conversation and have and being able to sit at that table. Is
Mhm.
how they say we're able to sit at that table and really give our input. You talk about our first. We just had our very first in our police department. We had our very first Chukis female
Mhm.
officer that joined our
Wow.
department, and what a great stepping stone for her for her people. You and I know, Dan. There's an influx of all our Micronesians people
Yeah.
that are here, and they're still learning the Western ways. So
Mhm.
many of them struggle because they don't understand how things work. And this young female officer who just graduated will be that person that will lead the way for the Chukis people, and I'm so proud of her.
It's very important because oleo police, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's the experience will determine your life in the future. It's either you get into with that interaction, whether you go this way or that way, or melna tawa tele, yeah. And I mean, I cannot overemphasize the importance, of having our people in the police force. And I know I talked to you one time and said, "Oh, o ke pisi lo ke kalango le meya malkovang kaya," and I'm thinking, isn't that a great experience? Uh, wa
Yeah,
mawala ba ina yung tatong tangat in that door. It's just a foot in the door to explain where we're at. Lasso, talk to
yeah,
talk to us in that about
yeah.
that experience.
So, okay, we can, yeah, just I laugh and I pinch myself to say I'm actually talking to the governor. He actually knows me by my first name. If I saw him on the street and walked past, he would look at me like, "Hey, what's up, Don?" I was like, "Hey, what's up, Governor? How are you?" The other part about the governor being having different common grounds is we both share our favorite NFL football team. We have the same favorite NFL football teams. We're both hardcore Steeler fans, and so we always talk about that first before we even talk about business. You know, I'm going to Kauai in 2 days to attend the mayor's. He has a state of the county address with the mayor, and then I'm actually meeting with him the following week because he's going to be running for lieutenant governor coming up at the end of the year. And so, again, all these different opportunities, and they're just speak to somebody like me, somebody from the housing, from Kalihi, a Samoan. I feel so blessed that I get to give my input and share what our thoughts are. And the best part, I think, Ken, about it is being able to be, growing up and learning the values of who we are as a Samoan, taking those values and implementing it in my day to day with my board that I oversee here at the union, but more importantly with the community that I go out and I interact with. I still work out on patrol. I'm a patrol officer still out there. I patrol out on the windward side in Kailua, and I like that being out in the front with the men and women to show that their leaders is in the front lines with them and serving the best way I can and also fighting the good fight.
Must be funny when you get, when you go to a situation and you see all of them are Samoans. How does that look like when you walk in and there is
Yeah,
is it so like
yeah. It's I'll share a funny story with you, Ken, and this happened a couple of weeks ago. So we get a call of an argument, right? And so I'm the third guy that shows up there at this argument. Uh, my other two partners, one is Balangi and the other one is Isanga, and
no.
so they go and they're doing the best and trying to like calm everybody down, and then I show up, and of course, right, we know find whoever's the eldest. Look for the auntie, the uncle, or the grandma and the grandpa. And I walk up to them and I say, yeah, sa alofa lava. And they see my name, oi, Famoina, yeah. And then everything just calms down. And I said, hey, look, two things. We don't want to send anybody to jail. So if you guys Famonmole lava, dosunga, please help us. People are calling, that there, a lot of noise is going on. And I understand no family is perfect. Everyone will have their own arguments, but I want to be here to help you guys out. How can I help you guys so that we don't have to come back? And then one of the aunties like, hey, I know you. I see you on TV. Yeah, and Ken, that's it. Everything calmed down. And then everyone just calm, and I just say, hey, please don't make us. We don't want to come back, but we want to make sure if everything's okay. If you get to a point where you're gonna argue again, here's my number. Just call me, and I'll come myself, and I'll come and talk to you guys just to help all of you guys out. And then we were done. We left, and then my two partners, the Palangi and the Saingo one, was like, oh man, I'm so happy you're here, Uso. Man, this could have turned out really, really bad. But being able to understand our people, and when they see somebody like me that looks just like them, so much easier to calm things down.
Yeah. Wow. That's important. I mean, that's important, not in just that situation, but in so many hundred situations, not in just in Hawaii, but in other. I've talked to some policemen also in California. That's so critical. If I've taken over Malevno, I know you're probably going to be meeting with the governors, soon, and you're busy today, and I'm just taking your time out. If I've taken over, you're probably let's play pickleball later on, but
Yeah, let's do it, Ken. and
but
and I
anyway,
want to say, Ken, I want to say you have to let your listeners know that. Oh man, I'm telling you, your host, this man right here, don't let his age fool you. He is an amazing athlete. He's an amazing pickleball player. My favorite part about you, Ken, is that you're an amazing human being, and I thank you for representing our people. Every week as you're on there broadcasting and sending it out to our people abroad in New Zealand, Australia, and back home in Samoa. And keep up doing the amazing work that you do. I appreciate you. I love you so much, Uso.
Taylor, well, let me give you a couple moments on it to thank you and to just last final thoughts from you. Thank you so much for your time. Don from Wina, President of State of Hawaii Organization of Police Officers. Final thoughts.
Yeah, we live in a time where I feel like, especially us here in Hawaii, sometimes we feel like the aloha or the alofa is no longer there, like how I grew up. I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I feel that it's my responsibility as the leader, as the president for Shopora Police Union, as a police officer, as a son, as a husband, as a father, as a cousin, a nephew, to take that responsibility and continue to show the people out there. I was just in Nashville a week ago, and I was able to speak to the former Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, and we were on. I didn't realize I was on national news, and people started texting me like, "Uso, I just saw you on national news. They said your name, you had your name up there, and what a blessing." As we continue, everything that I do, I wake up and I thank God, and I say, "How can I be better today? How can I serve our people? How can I make my mom and the rest of the people out there? How can I continue to make them proud because of who I am and the way that I've grown up?" And so I appreciate it. And if there's anything I can do for our people out there, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do the best that I can to help and serve all of you. Basta lava.
Taylor, down from Mina. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a great man. And I can attest to it because I know him personally. If I Taylor mula know to in a mai, is a mile tato o kalamil na ni futao ma United States of America masunga down from Mina. I was so pasala la ne ay nga mga luis leo o le au ona ay mo temile. So